So what we're going to make today is we're going to make beef and broccoli. So we have some beef here and some strips. And what you'll need is you'll need 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch. You'll need some salt, 1/4 of a tablespoon, 1/4 of a tablespoon of black pepper, as well as 3/4 of a pound of strip sirloin. You'll need 3 tablespoons of oil. You'll need 10 ounces of broccoli. You'll need 3 cloves of garlic. You'll need 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1/3 of a cup of water, as well as onion and green pepper if you so desire. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the first step, which is taking the cornstarch, salt, and pepper, and we're going to put it in a bowl, which we have right here. So I'm just going to do that right now, and I'll fast forward to the next part. So we're first going to add in the 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch into the bowl. So here's the 1 tablespoon, and we have the half one as well. The next we're going to add in the salt, which is 1/4. So now I'm going to add in the 1/4 of salt, which I have measured out there. Now we're going to add the 1/4 of pepper in. What we're going to do is we're going to add in our 1/4 of the pepper, which is right here. So once we have it in there, what we're going to do is I'm just going to mix it up a little bit. And then I'm going to take the beef, which I have right here next to it, and we're going to actually coat it. And how we're going to do is a few pieces at a time. And we're just going to mix it up. And once we cover the whole thing, I'm going to take it out, and then I'm going to start frying it in the frying pan. And while that's frying, I'm going to cut up the vegetables. So I'm just going to continue to cover it up, and I'll fast forward and show you what it looks like once it's all covered up. So once we have the meat, and as you can see, it is, all the little strips are covered in the mixture we just made. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our meat and we're going to go over to the wok at the stove. We're going to heat up 2 tablespoons of oil. We're going to stir in the meat, and we're going to cook it for probably, well, till it's brown. It probably takes about a minute or two. And we're going to take it off, and I'll show you. Excuse me. Ooh, I got to start that over. So now that we have our meat all covered in the mixture, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the wok. We're going to put 2 tablespoons of oil in, and we're going to start to fry this up. And while this is frying up, we're going to slice up our vegetables, which is the broccoli, the red onion, white onion, garlic, and the green pepper. Now you don't necessarily have to add the onion or the onion or the green pepper in. I just happen to like it, so that's why I'm going to add it in. So I'm just going to cut up the vegetables, fry this up, and I'll fast forward to the next part. So I'm going to start off with the vegetables, and I'm going to start off with the onions first. And how I'm going to cut those for the beef and broccoli is I'm actually just going to cut them in little wedges. So you cut it in half, and then you just cut it like that. And I'm going to do that with both onions, the white and the red. Now you don't actually have to put both colors in there. I think food is partly the presentation as well. So if you can add prettiness, go ahead, why not? And I find the red onions are actually easier to digest for some reason. They don't really leave so much as an aftertaste. So I do like using them as often as possible, and they're easy to grow in the garden, so why not? So there's the white ones, and now I'm just going to skip to the red one. It's time to cut the red onion, and I'm just going to do that the same way. And I'm going to put it on a plate and move to the garlic after this. Just take that little piece of skin out of there that doesn't look very appetizing. And then we're going to move to the garlic. So just going to fast forward to when we get to the garlic. So now it's time to get the garlic, and we have 3 cloves, which is right here. And I'm just going to peel the outside of that off. And you're going to want to slice these up and cut them right fine. You don't want big chunks of garlic in your beef and broccoli. So we're going to dice it up, and I'm just going to continue to do it and fast forward and show you what it looks like when it's diced. So as you can see, we have the garlic diced up, so now we're going to move to the green pepper. So what we're doing now is we're just cutting up the green pepper in chunks or strips, whatever you prefer. And you don't even have to add the green pepper in. I just really like green pepper, so I'm going to add it in. I'm not going to add the whole green pepper, I'm just going to do half. Just for enough for flavoring. So just going to get ready to go over to the stove now, fry up that meat, and get it ready. As you can see, we have the onions, the white and the red cut up with the garlic in the middle and the green pepper. So we're just going to add that with the broccoli. So you're going to cut the broccoli up in little pieces, and I'll show you how to do that in a sec. So we're going to go over to the frying pan, the wok, and get this ready. What we're going to do now is we're adding in our oil, which is the 3 tablespoons. We're going to add in 2 at this point. And I just added that in. And we're going to wait till that gets a little bit hotter, and then I only have my temperature on about 6 because you don't want it to get too hot when you add the meat in. So now that the oil is heated up, what we're going to do now is we're going to put the meat in there. And I'm going to fry this up and brown it. Move that a little bit back. Actually, just going to hold it for a minute. Don't want it to catch fire while I hold the frying pan to get this done. And we're just going to make sure it's all going to get cooked. And we just don't want it on top of each other. So I'm just going to fry it up, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's browned and ready to go. So once you brown the meat, this is what it'll look like. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our slotted spoon there, and we're going to put it in another container and cover it while we do the vegetables. So I'm just going to do that right now, and I'm going to add it into this bowl. And you're going to want to make sure the bowl's covered to keep it hot. And I'm just going to fast forward to the next step. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some more oil in, add another teaspoon. And I'm going to wait till that heats up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add in the vegetables and fry them up. Add in the vegetables now, which I have nicely chopped up. Add in some broccoli. I'm going to add in the onions, which the red ones are. I'm going to add in some white ones. I'm going to add in some garlic. And I'm going to add in the green peppers. And this is the way I cut the broccoli up, as you can see right there. We're just going to add in the whole bowl and fry that up. So I'm going to fry it up until it's ready, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So as you can see, the beef and broccoli is starting to fry up nicely, and we're just going to continue to fry up the vegetables because I like them a little bit more caramelized than this. And I'm just going to fast forward to where they're ready to add the sauce in. As you can see, the beef and broccoli vegetables are starting to look great. So it's almost time to make the sauce, which is the 1/3 of the water with the soy sauce. And I'll show you how to do that once we skip to the next step. So what we're going to do now is add the 1/3 of a cup in of water, just right here, and then we're going to add in the soy sauce and bring it to a boil. We're going to add in the soy sauce, which is 3 tablespoons, which is pre-measured there. And we're going to bring that to a boil, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's boiling. So as you can see, it's come to a boil, so we're going to take our meat that we browned a little while ago, and we're going to put that in there. And I'm going to mix it up and cook it for another minute or two, and then I'm going to serve it on a bed of rice.